Beruchim Abayim Rabotai. Welcome to a special edition of the Wednesday night class. It's been our custom for I don't know how many years we've been doing this. We've been in this business, but our format of the Wednesday night class usually is Perashat Shavua or a word of Musar. I promise you, believe me, that we are going to get into some Musar tonight, just to fill your desire for that. But it's our obligation to also get involved with some of the halachot that are going to apply on the upcoming holiday. Now, the funny thing about halachot is, halachot don't change from year to year. So a lot of times when you give a halakha class, everybody sits there and says, Peshita Maika Mashmalan. We know that already. We know that already. What is he telling us? It's special, it's simple. Would we come out here? We couldn't park. We drove around for 6 hours. And he comes to tell us something that we knew already. So we have one or two options. We can make up new halachot this year to keep the class rolling and interesting. But we'll leave that for other rabbis to do. We're going to over here just repeat some old halachot that we know, but in order to make a chidush in the class, we're not going to discuss tonight Hilchot Pesach. We'll learn Hilchot Sukkot. No, I'm joking. Of course we're going to learn Hilchot. We're going to learn Hilchot Yom Tov. Because many people get caught up in Hilchot Pesach. You see, we made 4 tapes on the subject, and we just touched the surface. But you got to remember that Pesach is Yom Tov. And Yom Tov has laws of its own. There's a whole section in Shulchan Aruch after Hilchot Pesach dedicated to the laws of Yom Tov. So Hilchot Pesach will get you through the Seder and how much wine and when to lead and all that, which is vital, and how to kosher pots and stuff like that. But I want to hit a new angle tonight. I want to talk about the laws of Yom Tov. There is a mitzvah to mechabed, to respect and to enjoy on the holiday. The pasuk says, "V'samachta b'chagecha." There's a mitzvah to have simcha. There's a mitzvah to enjoy. There's a mitzvah to eat good foods. And simcha ela b'basar v'yayin. The Gemara says a person should drink a little wine on the holiday. A person should have red meat, even though there's no obligation to have meat on the holiday. In the olden days there was. The old days, what are you talking about? They used to go to the Beit HaMikdash, they used to bring a sacrifice. Korban Shelamin. Hagigah. They used to slaughter it. They used to go home and eat it. Shalmei Hagigah they used to bring. And Olat also, but the Olah is totally to God. They don't eat from that one. But they used to eat from the meat of the Korbanot. Today, Ba'avonotim, we don't have a Beit HaMikdash. But there's still a mitzvah, not an obligation, to eat meat. Now, so all those the vegetarians now start coming out of the woodworks. No, we don't eat meat, macro, batich, all the other things that they're eating. On Yom Tov, they should break their rule a little, have a kizayit of basar to enjoy, if they enjoy it. It's a mitzvah to indulge a little in the achilah, to make good ochel, to have good shetiyah, to have good wine. Of course, the famous ma'amar brought down, כל המבזה את המועדות כאילו נטפל לעבודת כוכבים. But if somebody does not treat the Yamim Tovim with the proper respect, Has v'shalom is כאילו he's oved avodah zarah. The rabbis compare it to someone that's worshipping idolatry. Now, Shabbat we all know about. You know, everybody, you Shomei Shabbat. Yom Tov, however, unfortunately in our community, I don't know the history of it, why it's like that. But for some reason, people are under the misconception that Yom Tov is a very lax day, and halakha-wise, really nothing applies. You know, you see people talking on the phones on Yom Tov, and turning on lights, and turning off lights. Smoking, we'll talk about in a second, that might not be so bad. But people don't realize that the laws of Yom Tov are like the laws of Shabbat, basically. There's just a few things that you're allowed to do on Yom Tov that you can't do on Shabbat. But otherwise, Yom Tov is like Shabbat. As a matter of fact, there are certain situations where the laws of Yom Tov are more stringent than Shabbat. For example, in one of the cases of the laws of Mukseh, we discussed it before with the Qasim boys, maybe we'll repeat it again today. A person this season spends a lot of money. I'm not talking about your tax return. For the holidays, people spend a lot of money. And it's a mitzvah to spend according to your ability. The Gemara says, Kol mizonotav shel adam kitzuvim lo mitishri ad tishri chutz mitishri. That whatever you're going to make during the year is already predetermined on Rosh Hashanah. God already on Rosh Hashanah Yom Adin decides you're going to make $53,248.91 to the T. It's written down, it's stamped, it's sealed from year to year what you're going to make. If less, less. If more, more. However, one stipulation is written in the budget of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. It does not include Tishri. What is Tishri? Tishri is Rashi Tevot. The Tav stands for Torah. The money you spend for Torah education, the money you spend for tutoring your children, the money that you spend for Sefarim and things like that, that's on God's calculation. That's not out of your salary. Which means if you were supposed to make the 53,000, that's besides the books that you're going to buy, besides the money you spent on Torah. The Sheen is Shabbat. The rest is Rosh Chodesh, and the Yud, which is our subject, is Yom Tov. The money you spend for Yom Tov is tax deductible. It's more than tax deductible. It's net deductible, meaning you don't get charged for that. So therefore, if the guy has the money in his pocket already, a person shouldn't be a kamsan. You shouldn't be stingy. What am I going to buy this suit for? Pay a little extra, buy the nicer suit. Pay a little extra, buy the nice tie. Buy a new pair of shoes, l'chvod Yom Tov. If a person's married, the halakha obliges a person to buy something for his wife. You have to be happy on the holiday. So the men, how do they get happy on the holiday? He eats good. He eats a good piece of meat. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So a person eats nice steak, with wine, genuine. The lady, they all on diets. Adrabah, it's the opposite. The eating brings atzmut, brings depression. So how do you make the ladies happy on the holiday? So it's a mitzvah for the husband to buy something for the wife. Each one according to his financial capability. If a person's ashir, he should go buy his wife a new piece of jewelry or a new dress. The wives love this. They want the tape. Well, let me hear the tape. The rabbi said you have to buy us. Hayab. Oh, bring this tape out. Don't worry, they're not going to hear this tape till next year because we don't make it. So you're off the hook this year, fellas. But we're giving you a fair warning for next year. When the tape comes out, you're in trouble. And by the way, I'm also in trouble because my wife listens to the tape. So now, there really is an obligation to buy your wife something. Ish gefi yichulto. If a guy, miskin, is a ani, so he doesn't have to go buy $1,000 dress or $1,000 piece of jewelry or something like that. He goes to the store for $10. He goes buys flowers. Those ladies see flowers. It's more the thought besides the flowers or perfume bottle for whatever it is, $10, $15 cheaper. But a guy should not come home on the Yom Tov without something for his wife. Now all he's worried about is his birthday, and all he's worried about is his own satisfaction, and the children also. You have an obligation to make your children happy on the holiday. What are you going to give the children? In the olden days, they used to give the children egozim, kaliyot. They used to give them nuts. They used to make the kid happy. In those days, the kids were very unspoiled. Today, go give your kid nuts. So I said, you're nuts. They'll say you're crazy. We're giving nuts. We'll throw it back in your face. Get out of here. What do you give them? You go, you get them candy, mashu, of course, kosher and Passover, but something that the kids will enjoy, a toy, something like. So the night of the Seder, when the kids come home, and you come home from Knish, you give the kid a lollipop. Lollipop before dinner? Don't tell mommy that. This over here, already you're supposed to give the kid, to make them happy. You want to make a situation where the wife is wearing something new, or has a new piece of jewelry, or a new perfume, or flowers. The kid's eating his candy. You're sitting down to the table like a melech with your basar v'yayin. This is a mitzvah of simcha. And the best thing of it, you don't get charged for it. That's on Modei Olam's bill. Chutz v'tishli Yom Tov is one of the things. Of course, a person, we have a rule that says mitzvah bo yoten mebishlucho. Even though a person has shefahot, and he has help, and he has a wife, there's also shefah, a person should try to do something himself l'chvod Yom Tov. Do something. Whether it means to go clean his room up, or it means to go set the candles up for his mother or his wife, because we do have an obligation to light nerot on Yom Tov. The wife lights the nerot just like she lights on Shabbat. But she doesn't say L'adlik ner shel Shabbat. She says L'adlik ner shel Yom Tov. Now, our minhag, now we're on the subject of lighting the candles. When you light the candles for Shabbat, or for this matter Yom Tov, Halakha tells us one should make the beracha first, and then light. Like every other mitzvah. You make the beracha, and then you do it. For example, when you wear tefillin in the morning, what do? You put on the tefillin, and then you make the beracha after you put it on already. You put it on already. We have a rule that says, Kol ha-mitzvot levarech alehen over la'asiyatan. You always make the beracha before. Now, therefore, on Shabbat, we tell the ladies, L'adlik ner shel Shabbat, and then you light. Or L'adlik ner shel Yom Tov, and then you light. I would be lying if I would say there's not a custom the other way. A lot of our ladies have a custom the other way, to light first, and then make the beracha. They do the wave, and they come to their face. That's the ladies know exactly what to do. I'm not going to change the world over here. We have a rule that says, Shlomo HaMelech teaches us, Shema beni musar avicha ve'al titosh torat imecha. Don't leave the way of your mother. Meaning, whatever your mother did, whatever your grandmother did, continue doing it. If she lights and then makes a beracha, continue that way. Don't go start making a jihad now. We heard on the class, you have to, you're doing it the wrong way, you make the beracha l'batala. Leave it. We have enough kanaim. We don't need any more zealots. But if a guy doesn't have a minhag, and the guy doesn't know what his mother didn't light candles, he doesn't know now. He's starting fresh off the bat. His wife comes to him and asks him, I don't know what to do. What should I do? What do you tell them? Make the beracha first, and then light. Yom Tov also the same halakha. Make the beracha l'adlik ner shel Yom Tov, and then you light. What time should you light the candles? You light the candles the same time as, let's say, whatever candle lighting for Shabbat is. 18 minutes before sunset they usually light. They can even light it later, but the minhag is we light it at the same time that we put the candle lighting for Shabbat. The ladies should not say Shehayanu when they're lighting the nerot. Tell your wives this. Shehayanu they're going to say during the Kiddush. So the lady's going to say Shehayanu during the lighting of the candles. It's extra beracha. So you're just making one beracha. They light the candles on both nights. They light it on this year, Monday night, and also on Tuesday night. You have a mitzvah on Erev Yom Tov to take a shower. Oh, what a Torah we have. I said. Some guys, the only thing that drives them to take a shower is a mitzvah. But Baruch Hashem, the guys that come to this class were very hygienically aware. Guys take showers, Baruch Hashem. I went to mikveh once. So the mikveh puts a sign up. Please don't enter the mikveh unless you take a shower first. And then in parentheses it says, even if you took one last night. Meaning the guys in the mikveh, they know the head of a guy. I took one last night, I don't have to take one. So they catch the guy. I'll be a wise guy. You took one last night. In any event, there's a mitzvah to take a shower on Erev Yom Tov, a hot shower to clean yourself. Person comes home late, he doesn't have a chance, he goes to the holiday minuvar, chas v'shalom, you get a warm bath for that. There's a mitzvah to cut your nails before Yom Tov. We once gave a whole shiur on nails. On how the fingernails, how long. The fingernails, as a rule, always should be short. They should never protrude over the skin. Never protrude. Once they protrude over the skin, then you have the EGBGs, and you have all the tum'ah that stick on it. You always should have your nails cut short. I'm not talking about going to have manicure with the polishing and all that other item. That's already another subject that we can discuss in private. But a guy should definitely always, before Yom Tov, Erev Shabbat, always to cut his nails, you have a mitzvah. Also, to take a haircut. Rabotai, the Omer is coming. And the Omer, you're not allowed to take a haircut. Hakam Einad de Rosho. A guy sees the future, a guy sees what's coming. Take a haircut, before Yom Tov. You have today, tomorrow, Friday, Sunday, even Monday, Erev Pesach, we say, Lechat Tehillah, you shouldn't take a haircut after midday. But if you have to take a haircut midday, you take it by a non-Jewish barber, it's okay also. But you should try to take a haircut, and also shave. Lichbod Yom Tov. All these things, haircut and shaving, we should try to do before Hatzot, which is about 1 o'clock on Monday.
All these things you're doing, you're supposed to have in mind you're doing it.
Of course.
You don't have in mind.
It's okay, you're it. You fulfill the mitzvah. But, of course, mitzvah, tzedichot kavanah lechat tehillah, you should have kavanah, and you should think of these things. What I do, I'll tell you what I do. In order to, we're busy the whole day, you don't always have the Shem Yehud, the Shem Yehud, the Shem Yehud, you don't have every time to remember. So what do? When you get up in the morning, you make a condition. Whatever I do today for preparation for the holidays, L'Shem Yehud L'Shamirich U'Shkenteh B'Tchilu U'Rhimu, I'm doing it with all the kavanot for the mitzvah, for Olam Haba, for the Meik Hashem, Nahat Ruach, and everything. And that exempts you for all the ma'asim that you're going to do. Of course, if you remember B'Shat Ma'aseh, so say it again. But it's a disclosure from the beginning. Whatever I'm doing, it should be L'Shem Shamayim and the Sorech, the mitzvah. So you should shower. Now there's a halacha that tells us it's proper to go to the mikveh Erev Yom Tov. In the olden days, it was an obligation. You had to bring korbanot. You had to be tahor. So you used to have to go dip in the mikveh. I'm not talking about the shower with your bathtub. I'm going to the mikveh, 40 sa'ah, the regular mikveh. And therefore, even if a person is not accustomed to go to the mikveh every Friday, because there are people, there are a couple of levels of people. Certain people, they go to the mikveh every morning. They don't want to pray Sha'ari without going to the mikveh. That's the Sadiqim, the Hasidim. These guys already, they're very few. But Erev Shabbat, every Friday, come to the mikveh. You see, a lot of guys going. It's a beautiful minhag. What does the mikveh do? It adds Kiddushat to a person. It brings a person more, makes a person more holy. That's just a fact. Don't ask me why, what is the water, what's in the water, it's regular H2O, there's no additives, there's no nothing, maybe they put chlorine for the guys who don't shower, but that's it. What's the Kiddush in it? Whatever it is. There's definitely a Kiddushat to go to the mikveh. That means Monday's Erev Yom Tov. One should try to go, Baruch Hashem, Ahayez spent a lot of money to fix the mikveh. Go downstairs on sub-level, in the basement, you'll see you have a beautiful new mikveh. I don't know, you have 9 showers, with all new tiles, they even made a steam room! A steam room! Guy goes to the mikveh, you can take a sauna, you can relax a little, sit in the mikveh. So okay, if that's what it takes you to come to the mikveh, they have to give you a piece of candy for the steam, so that's also, mitoch shelon lishma ba'al lishma. For a small price, whatever they charge you, it's worth it. The Kiddusha that you get, there's no price to pay. Therefore, Rabotai, even if you never went to the mikveh before, a lot of guys are embarrassed. What do you mean? You go naked? Or could you put a bathing suit? We're all men over here. There's nothing to be embarrassed. When you went to the center and you play basketball, you're not embarrassed to be in the shower, to go in the locker room. All of a sudden, it comes to the mikveh, everyone becomes a Hasid. The Hasid Shotet. Oh, I'm embarrassed. Sanuah, Mahanav, I don't want. There's no inyan. Adrabah, you're supposed to go, and there's nothing to be embarrassed of, and nobody's watching you, and nobody cares, and you just do the mitzvah. And therefore, one should try to go to the mikveh Monday after Chatzot. What do you mean after Chatzot? Let's say after 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, after 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you should try to go to the mikveh. So if the guy's worried about the mikveh being dirty, so you try to go earlier. The earlier, the better. The less people there are. Okay. You know, you guys can't relate to this. Some of the guys maybe that were in Eretz Yisrael. Our mikvaot over here, it's like a aruba. The water is sparkling. It's clean. You could look in the mikveh, you see straight down to the bottom of the floor. If there's a corner on the bottom of the mikveh, you can see what date it is just by looking in the mikveh. You go to Eretz Israel, it's like you're dipping in a cup of coffee. It's soot, it's dirty. The famous joke, the guy went into the mikveh, as he came out, he had a beard, Hazif. So you see over here, we're not in Eretz Israel. We're not in Eretz Israel. We're in America, the mikvahot are clean. And they're upkept very good. There's no excuse. All those excuses that you're going to give not to go to the mikveh is from the Yetzer Hara. It's dirty, it's this, it's that. That's all the Yetzer Hara. We want to see everybody in the mikveh. We don't have a attendance sheet, but everyone should try to make it his business. Once you're bar mitzvah, once you're 13 years old and above, you should go to the mikveh Monday afternoon. Now, what do you think of when you're in the mikveh? Very simple. I'm dipping L'Shem Kiddushat Yom Tov. It's a holiday. I'm accepting upon myself the special Kiddushat that the holiday brings. I want to be pure to fulfill all the mitzvot, the seder, the matzah, the yayin, and the simcha. I want to do it b'kedusha of tahara. How many times should you dip? Okay, whoever wants the kavanot according to the Arizal and the Ben Ish Hai, we'll discuss it after. But simple, one time is enough. Every time you do dip, it adds more kedusha. So, kol hamarbeh ared meshubach. A couple of laws that apply on Yom Tov. Number one. Monday night is one of the only night of the year that we recite Hallel with the Beracha. Really, the Halacha says that this mitzvah of reciting the Hallel with the Beracha that we do in Bet Knesset, it's worthy for the ladies to do also. The ladies are obligated in all the mitzvot that we do that night. They drink 4 kosot, they eat the matzah. So even if your wife does not go to Bet Knesset, she doesn't pray, but it's proper to tell your wives to recite the Hallel on the night of Pesach, the full Hallel, with the Beracha before and with the Beracha after. Asher Kedeshana Mzotav Sivanu, Negmor et Hallel. One should tell their wives to make such a Beracha. Of course we have the Kiddush. They can say it at home. They can say when you're in Bet Knesset, when it gets dark outside already, they can say the full Hallel. Of course we say the Kiddush. That's part of the halachot of the Seder. One should preferably say the Kiddush after it gets dark outside. Already you look when you get home, by 10 minutes after 8 already, it's considered Laila. Already you can start making your Kiddush and you can get your Seder underway. I don't want to digress into the halachot of the Seder, but of course, one thing you should remember, the Kiddush should be made after it's dark. That's not this year, 10 after 8. Now, in the Birkat HaMazon of the holiday, we're obligated to say Ya'aleh v'yavo. Halakha says, on the first 2 nights of Pesach, if one forgot Ya'aleh v'yavo in the Birkat HaMazon, his Birkat HaMazon does not count, it's invalid, and he must repeat the Birkat HaMazon from the beginning over again. This is specifically a halakha to the first 2 nights of Pesach. Meaning, on the 3rd night of Pesach, you forgot Ya'aleh v'yavo, you forgot it. What are you going to do? Make teshuvah next. But you don't say Birkat HaMazon over again. However, on the first 2 nights, you must repeat it. Therefore, you have to be careful. And therefore, if a person, let's say, remembered, he's forgot Ya'aleh v'yavo, he starts with Tibnei Yerushalayim Irakodesh B'V'Rav Yamenu, go back to Ya'aleh v'yavo. You didn't say Beracha yet. And even if he said, Baruch Atah Hashem, and he remembered right over there, say Lamedeni Unkecha. There's a pasuk in Tehillim. Baruch Atah Adonai Lamedeni Unkecha. It's a beauty. It fakes you out. You know, we used to do that in school. You sketch the teacher. Baruch Atah Adonai Lamedeni Unkecha. The teacher's yelling, Baruch Atah pasuk in Tehillim. So whenever you're in a case like this, where you forgot Ya'aleh v'yavo, but you started Baruch Atah, now, what do? Say Lamedeni Onkecha, go back to Ya'aleh v'yavo and continue. But let's say the guy said Baruch Atah Hashem, Borei Yerushalayim. Now he remembers there's a special beracha that you'll find in the Siddurim. The Siddurim have it. That's your last makeup points. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech ha'olam asher natan yamim tovim la'amo Yisrael b'kedusha v'kavod. One more, Baruch atah Hashem mekadesh Yisrael v'yom tov. Mekadesh Yisrael hazemanim. There's a special beracha inserted in the Birkat HaMazon for the guys who missed Ya'aleh v'yavo. However, once you start the fourth beracha, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech ha'olam ha'el abinu, finished. That's, you blew it. You must go back to the beginning of the Birkat. Let's review that. Hopefully you won't forget Ya'aleh v'yavo. What if you do? If before you made the beracha, go back to Ya'aleh v'yavo. If you made the beracha, say Lamedini Hokecha. If you didn't say Lamedini Hokecha, you said Monei Yerushalayim, catch that extra beracha that you can say in lieu of Ya'aleh v'yavo. And if you missed that and you started Baruch, you said one word, Baruch, finished. Your Birkat is valid, you have to go back to the beginning. Ladies, if they miss Ya'aleh v'yavo, do not repeat Birkat HaMazon. This is only for the men.
This is only the first 2 nights?
The first 2 nights, not the days, not nothing. The first 2 nights.
Yom Tov at the end of the holiday?
First 2 nights of Pesach, Vezeu. What else? Questions in the gallery?
Ladies are obligated for everything.
Ladies are obligated for everything in the Seder. You know, we told you last year, during the Seder is a mitzvah, when you say the different things, matzah, zul, there's a mitzvah to point to the matzah. When you say the maror, there's a mitzvah to point to the maror. So it was the old Haggadah. So by the maror zeh, they have a picture of a guy pointing to his wife. Maror zeh. Okay, it's a joke. It's not. It's a joke. We're joking. The point is there. The ladies are obligated in all the mitzvot. The ladies are obligated in all the mitzvot of the night. They have to eat the maror, they have to eat the matzah, they have to drink the wine. And really a person should impress upon his wife the seriousness of it. You know, the ladies are so accustomed of being peturot, exempt, so they think, oh, the night of Pesach, we really don't have to drink the wine. How much matzah do we have to? They're obligated like the men. There's no difference. There's no difference. The lady has to eat 4 kizetim of matzah. 4 ounces of matzah like a man, no more, no less. She has to drink the wine like a man. So if she can't drink wine, so you say let her drink grape juice. So it's all okay. But she has no leniencies where you tell her, you're a lady, don't worry about it. Haggadah also. I don't want to digress, but this is already asking a question. During the Haggadah, there's a mitzvah to say it over to the ladies also. What happens in most houses? The men get involved with their Divrei Torah and their reading, and the ladies get involved with their pitfutim, with their talkings. So you have 2 Haggadot going on. The Haggadah shel Pesach, Haggadah shel Bitul Torah, Haggadah shel Keinam you have in the back. So therefore, you have to be Hacham, and you have to know how to keep the interest of the people. If you're going to just sit there and start telling complicated thoughts on the Haggadah, the ladies are going to feel, okay, the guy's making poo now, he's mixing us all up, forget about it, the guy's crazy, this is what they do in yeshivot all day long. Before you start the Seder, you have to prepare what you're going to say. Say easy things. There's no mitzvah to mix the people up on the Seder table. Don't flaunt your knowledge of Haggadah literature. We made tapes here. We have an easy tape we made on the 10 plagues. Very simple. What happened with Dam, Sefardayak, tell a story. The lady, you can catch her attention. You tell a story, you bought. Finish. The kids, you tell them a story. Oh, Rasha, he was a midget, the Midrash said. His beard used to sweep the floor. Every time there was thunder about he fell off his throne. You make a story, make letzanut from these people, from Paro, like the Midrash says. If the Sheret Alati ben Mitzrayim, but you keep their interest. All the extra hadushim that you have on the Haggadah, from the Rambams, and all these things that you want to answer, all your questions, leave that for after. After the Seder, for the guys who are serious, who want to stay up, then you're ready to sit them up and mix them up with all your questions. But during the Seder itself, yes, the ladies are obligated, and it's an obligation of the men to keep the interest of the ladies and the children. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kol yom baruch. There is a big misconception, and we'll clarify it, fix it right now once and for all. Yom Tov, it is permissible to cook. Pasuk of the Torah, that's matir ochel nefesh. That's one of the major differences between Shabbat and Yom Tov. On Shabbat, everything has to be prepared before. There's no cooking. We have our blech. We're only able to heat up the food, certain foods, but from scratch. To cook something that's raw, to cook it on Shabbat is asur, yahaya from the Torah. In the olden days, they would take a guy that cooked took a little water, cold water, put it on the fire, heated it up. Hayav sekilah. They take the guy, they throw him off a building and stone him in the olden days. On Yom Tov, however, that is permissible. It's permissible to make food from scratch on Yom Tov. However, the law in the Mishnah in Betzat tells us you're not allowed to make a fire on Yom Tov. What do you mean? There's a catch-22. Hey, are you telling me I can cook, but you can't make a fire? So go cook without a fire. What's the hadush over here? The hadush is as follows. The hadush is you have to have an existing flame. You're not allowed to make a fire. For example, the olden days, how they used to make, the Mishnah says it, En motzi'im et ha'esh lo min ha'etzim velo min ha'avanim. They used to take 2 sticks or 2 rocks, rub them together, and the spark would come out. They used to take a piece of straw, and they used to catch the spark, and that would start the fire. So you look at the rocks, there's no fire in the rocks. So you're making a fire when there was no fire. You're creating borid esh. You're creating a tasur. And therefore, on Yom Tov, you have to make sure that any fire that you have was there already. Therefore, it is asur to strike a match on Yom Tov. Even though some people wanted to say, no, the match, the fire is really there. It's inside there. It's considered... What do you mean inside there? Is it the match any different than the rocks that they used in the olden days? Obviously those rocks that they used to use had certain qualities of it that used to bring a fire. But still it's considered you're creating a fire because it's not there. A match is the same thing. When you strike it on the bach, you're creating a new... It's asur to strike a match on Yom Tov. Or for that matter, it's asur to turn on your oven on Yom Tov. So what do? A couple of options. Either you turn on your oven before Yom Tov, you turn on like you do before Shabbat, now you have a flame there. Once you have a flame, you could light from that flame to wherever you want. Meaning, now I need a light to light another burner. I can take a match or a candle, go to the existing flame, light it, and light the other pilot. As long as you take your flame from something that's existing, you're okay. The problem is when you take it from scratch. Therefore, if I had a match I can't strike, but I can stick the match in another fire that's lit already, and then light the other things. For that same reason, it is asur to turn lights on Yom Tov. I don't care what you were doing, and this we don't say, Al Tiktosh Torat Imecha. If the Torat Imecha was to turn on lights, then Shlomo says, Tiktosh Torat Imecha, Torat Abicha, Torat Savcha, Torat Mishpachtecha. This over here, the halakha is clear on this subject. It is forbidden to turn on lights. What's the logic? The same logic. There were some rabbis, long time ago, 40, 50 years ago, when this question arose in the halakha, when I guess the light bulbs just became a new hadush, in the halakha at least. So they wanted to say that really the light is there. It's just when you turn it on, you're uncovering the light. That's not the way a light works. The guy who told the rabbi that was I'm an honest electrician. He didn't know his business. He mixed up the rabbi, therefore he said it. The light works simple. You turn it on, you create a current. The current out of electricity goes through it and lights the filament. You're creating a light where there was no light. So finished. It's asur to turn on lights on you. So what do? Either you have a timer, That's the best thing to do. If a guy has a house or wherever he's living, always to put timers around where you want the lights to go on, go off, set it before, turn on auto, and finish. You let the timer do it.
What about a toaster?
We'll get the toasters, we'll get the things. Oh, so the dimmer is really a big she'elah. First, before you get to the dimmer, let's go one step further on this, and maybe we'll explain it. While you're allowed to use fire from an existing flame on Yom Tov for the purpose of cooking, lights have to be on from before, because you can't turn it on. There's no way to have it existing. You can't. Turning off or extinguishing a fire on Yom Tov is asur in all situations. Therefore, if a person has his oven and the fire is on, and now after he finished cooking, he wants to turn off the gas, he wants to shut it, that is 100% asur. You're not allowed, or after you use the candle, he wants to blow out the candle, asur. The match, asur. You're not allowed to extinguish. Closing lights on Yom Tov, 100% asur. Therefore, one has to be very careful. The only situation where it's mutar, the only situation, pay attention closely, is if your wife is cooking and the fire is on very high and the food's going to burn. So for the purpose of cooking, you're allowed to lower the fire. Only because the food is going to burn. And better, between me and you, even in that case we'll tell you, if there's another fire that you have, that you could turn on from an existing flame and make it the preferable height that you want, the preferable temperature, better to start a new fire than to lower. If that's your only choice, that you have to lower this burner, then you can do it. But if you have another way from an existing to make it to your standard, that's better to do. But it's time to turn off a light or to blow out a candle, so you have to be careful. Smoking on Yom Tov is permissible. You're allowed to smoke on Yom Tov without getting into. Let's backtrack. I'm not going to get into a whole health discussion over here. For all the cigar smokers, I myself enjoy cigar once in a while. We're not going to get into the whole health. Whoever wants more information on that, the Hachamim did discuss it. Go subscribe to the New England Journal of Medicine, and you'll see all the shittot on smoking. However, we're talking from law now. We're not talking whether it's good to smoke, it's bad to smoke. We know already what the people say, but we're talking from halakha for a guy that say smokes already. The guy's addicted to it, or the guy does it, whatever, once in a while. You're allowed to smoke. How are you going to light it? It has to be from an existing flame. So what do? You take your cigar, you go to the kitchen where the burner is on already, you stick your nose in there and you light it. Or you have a flame already. What we do is, we buy a special ner that's called ner batala. What is it? It's a flame made out of, it's a wax candle, but it's
48 hours.
Lasts for 9 days. Big jazz one this big. You light it, it stays for a very long time. So anytime we need a flame, then we go to the flame and we light. We go to the flame and we light. So you want to light your cigar, you go to that flame and you light it from existing. However, if one doesn't have to smoke on Yom Tov, the second day of Yom Tov is more easier. The second day of Yom Tov, that's for sure you can smoke. It's not, if a person can do away with it, he doesn't have to, but from the law it's mutar. However, when you finish your cigarette, what do people do? They go like this. They put it out in the ashtray. That's haram. That's extinguishing. So you cannot put out your cigarette. That means after you finish smoking it, you just put it down. You don't extinguish it biyadayim. Well, let it go out itself. Of course, put it in a place where there's no sakana. You don't want to make bi'ur hamesna, bi'ur masah, bi'ur abayit. So therefore, we said that's permissible. Now, the dimmer question, I'm leaving it. This dimmer question, I had the same question myself also. Lowering it, for sure, that's Lowering, we said you can't even do that by a fire. Only for cooking you can do it. Now, lowering, that's the deed. You cannot. For cooking, we said you can't. To lower it because the food's going to burn, we said it's permissible. But what's your light got to do with the food then? Your light is a different item. It's not for ochel. Huh? No. How many times did I say it? I said you can lower it. Right. What? Well, you want to say because you don't want to pay the gas bill? That's not a heter. You only have a heter letzorech bishul. If there's no letzorech bishul stam, a guy's a kamsan, he sees all the gas being used. His wife says, nefesh, it's eating his nefesh. He wants to close it. Haram, you can't do it. You have to leave it. So I should tell you what to do for the kamsanin, there's a way out. For that guy who can't see the gas on all night, so what you do is, you take a thing of water. You're allowed to boil water on Yom Tov. If a guy wants a cup of tea, he can boil water on Yom Tov. On Shabbat, if a guy boils water, it's haram, but on Yom Tov, it's permissible. You take water, you put some sugar in the water also. Because when you put sugar in the water and it starts to boil, it makes it bubble, and you put the water on the fire, it bubbles, it goes over, it puts the burner out. You didn't do it, the water did. Then you shut the gas, the gas is just a knob. But then you have to use the water. You have to make a cup of tea, drink something from that water. If you don't drink the water, that means you cooked for no purpose. So that's already for a guy that wants the thing to go off, so you can do it. It's called girama.
I can make dominoes, so I can make the light turn off?
Yeah, but I'm giving you an easy way. What do you have to make dominoes for?
Whatever.
Take the water and stick it on the thing and it's finished. That's called girama. Gran kibui, that would be permissible in this case.
Eli, even for the sake of danger, you're leaving the house or anything like that, you can leave all the flames on?
Yeah, we do it every Shabbat. Every Shabbat everyone leaves their burners on. One day, so this is 2 days.
What about making it so high? Making it so high.
Making it so high is mutar. So the only question is the dimmer going up. Michael, it's a good question. I'm not going to answer. I don't know the answer to the question, and we discussed with Hachamim, and anyone you discuss it with, it's a new thing. The dimmer is a new item.
If you worry about second out your children, that's also not a legitimate excuse to.
Why are you worried about sakana? The ovens are not made with sakana. Ovens are made with all safety gadgets.
The countertops,
No, it's the slaves.
It's exposed.
Put something over it.
Put something over it. Why is paranoid? No.
You have the electronic ignition.
So let's go discuss this subject for a second. Good question, Doc. Good question. So let's say one thing quickly. There's a lot of different types of ovens. Yesh v'yesh. There's one type of oven. The best is the old stuff. The old things are made very simply, and halakha works very easy with them. It's only when technology gets more sophisticated, then you have a problem. Last week I was in a hotel. Wasn't in a hotel for a while. Now I see already, if you're a Jewish guy, you can't go to hotels anymore. They give you a certain type of key. You know it better than me. You guys travel. You stick it in the door, the green light, the red light. So what does the guy do if he has to go away on Shabbat? He can't go to the hotel anymore on Shabbat because they want to get fancy sensors all over the walls. Big problem. Again, the technology is making life easier for the Americani, but more difficult for the Orthodox Jew. So, they are advantages. So what do? I didn't go away on Shabbat. I went away on a Wednesday. Wednesday's mutar to use the car. In any event, they do have a key. This one didn't look like it had a key. You have to have it. It didn't look like there wasn't even a spot for it. In any event, the old ovens have a pilot light. And that pilot light always stays on. So an item like that, that's your existing flamer. If you have an oven like that, you could turn the gas on Yom Tov and let it start a fire. Because you're not making the pilot light is there already. It's lit. Your oven won't work if that pilot light is not on. Sometimes it goes out, you relight it. So if you have one of those ovens, you got to ask your wife. If you have one of those ovens with the pilot light on already, that's your existing flame, so you can turn on again. You can't shut it, but you can turn it on. You don't have to put from an existing. That's your existing. You can't shut it. Leave it. Put it down. Put it in the sink. Put it down in the sink. Let it go out by itself.
You got time with the window?
Put it on the sink where there's water next to it. Not underwater, but not. Put it next to it so it'll go out. Now, Rabotai. So that type of oven is good. The electric ovens, you have a problem. The electric ovens, especially the ones with the digital. So now, even if you use the electric, let's say you lit the flame from somewhere else, but every time you want to hire it, it's not with gas. You're pushing buttons and you're changing. It goes 72, 73, 74, 70. It changes the numbers. So that already you're playing with lights. You're playing with other electrical things. So the gas is so simple. When the gas, you're just making more gas, less gas. You're not doing anything. You're opening a valve and closing a valve. But the electric ovens are a problem. Because when you make it higher, you're changing numbers and you're changing lights. So that's a problem on your top. Only if what? You keep it at one setting. That is a new item. There's a new item that they invented now. You'd think that the guys who were making these things are anti-Semites, the things that they thought of. Listen to the Hadush. We had the problem in our family recently. They're making all the new ovens now with a 12-hour cutoff switch. What does this mean? Safety feature that after 12 hours, it closes automatically. What's the logic of the goyim? Who's going to put an oven on more than 12? Which recipe calls for something where you got to have more than 12 hours? What? If it's on for 12 hours, that means the guy forgot to shut it. So they made a hadush, we'll handle it. Don't worry, after 12 hours, the thing goes off. So that's a good safety feature, but that kills a guy. You buy that oven now, Shabbat. Friday night you turn it on, you wake up Shabbat morning, the oven's off, everything's off. They thought it did hesed. Hesed le'omim hatat. The hesed of the goyim is hatat. So now what do you do? So now what happens? So it's a big problem. Shabbat, this oven is, well, the oven you really don't use on Shabbat, use the burners on top. The burners on top, there's no safety feature. So where the blech is, you really have no problem. But your problem is on Yom Tov. Your problem is on Yom Tov. Because Yom Tov, you could use the oven. Now what? You wake up in the morning, the first day of Yom Tov, you want to make lunch, your wife wants to cook fresh. Therefore, the advice is, if anybody's getting a new oven, check the oven before you buy it. Don't call the guy, let him put it in, and you realize you have better not to buy this safety if you can find it. Well, my understanding is now that GE, Westinghouse, one of the companies, they got so many calls from religious people. Is there a way to bypass it? Could you cut it? Could you call an electrician to... They said, Dachilak, we're going to make one in 6 months from now that doesn't have the switch, special for the religious people. So, better to go buy the one that doesn't have this, otherwise you're going to run yourself into a lot of problems. If you have it, you have to ask your rabbi what to do.
So you have a gas oven, but it has an electronic condition.
Which means what?
What I understand,
when you turn the gas on, what happens?
It doesn't have a fire light. It goes on. And let's say you raise the oven.
So you're creating a fire from nothing. That's exactly the case.
You open the door, you're changing the temperature in the oven, right?
That's another subject. Leave that subject of opening, changing the temperature. Talking about the electric where you're creating a fire from nothing, that would be a problem.
On that temperature, for that moment it's okay.
If you have it on from before Yom Tov, it's not a problem. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. You're cooking, it goes low or higher, that's that's mutar. The light goes on? Haram! You can't do it then. Yeah, it doesn't matter how big the light is. Big light, small light. It's the same thing. Some people, when I bought my house, I had a Frigidaire that the guy left over there for us. Also, he thought he was doing us a chesed. I said, nice Frigidaire, beauty, I want it. We went into the house the first Shabbat. You open the door, the light, door open. You tell me the door's open. The fish. So the door, the thing closed. You shut it, the thing goes, door closed. Every move you do, the digital tells you exactly what's happening. So now it's worthless to me. I can't open the Frigidaire on Shabbat. So I called the electric guys and you got a handle. So he said, what's your price? This light, I cannot have this light on Shabbat. So he says, simple. He takes a piece of tape, he covers the light. What do you think? You have to bypass it. You have to shut it off. So the guy finally figured out a way where you can bypass the light. So I'm saying technology, you have to be very careful. My in-laws, they have a sensor. The first time I realized, I walked in the hall, all of a sudden the light goes on. Shema Yisrael, you're walking, the light goes on in the sense, I froze. Now I'm stuck. If you walk away, the light's going to go off. So they're coming, they're saying, Shalom Aleichem, Eshet Ayel, where are you? I can't move, I can't do that. Call the maid, let the maid stand in front of me, scooch away. I'm crawling around the house the whole Shabbat, like a ganav. I live in the house, I'm like a ganav because I don't want the census to go off. So there's a way to do that. If you have an alarm system, you must tell the guy he must bypass. They make switches today. A bypass switch, you must... It's sakana. Shemirat Shabbat is the biggest protection. Chilul Shabbat is sakana.
But if all the thieves know that our house...
Who knows? We're not there. Thieves in the class. Anybody a thief in this class?
No, not in the class.
No. Nobody knows. Don't be farsim. Don't put a sign. Our thing is bypassed. Put a thing. Dog. Beware of dog. Get the guy to come to the house to put a bypass switch. Otherwise your alarm is haram. It's simple. The switch before Shabbat, you go around the house, you shut it. That's it. They go off. After Shabbat, you turn it back on. People have sometimes in their backyards, when you walk by, the light goes on, the light goes off. All these things are haram. On Shabbat, you're walking, you're causing a direct action. Result of your action is turning off a light. You have to be very careful. Not only that, you're makshir the Rabbi. Once there was a sebet and the guy had these senses, everybody walking in, on, off. Sometimes the alarm, when you open the door, things flash on the alarm, door open, door closed. That's all haram. All these things have to be taken to be chokhmah. It's good to be protected, get your alarms and do all those things, but at the same time, it has to be according to the halakha. You have to make sure that all your systems are within the law, and there is a way to get around most of these problems in Allah. So that's the law of turning on. Telephone on Yom Tov is 1,000% asur. Incoming calls, outgoing calls, telephone, all 1-800 numbers, they're all asur. It's mukseh. You're not allowed to pick up the phone on Yom Tov. Intercom also is asur. Remember, this is the simple rule. It's Shabbat. But the truth of the matter is, for us, there's no, because we don't cook. So the wife knows the cooking. For us, it's Shabbat, except you can carry. Now, what could you carry? You can't carry anything. Don't think that they gave you a chance to carry anything on Yom Tov. You have to have a purpose that you carry. The guy's carrying his basketball to the schoolyard. A basketball is mukseh on Yom Tov. And if a person's going to get involved with all these extracurricular sports on Yom Tov, and he puts on his shorts and goes to the schoolyard and touches it. First of all, these things are all mukseh. Kadur is mukseh on Shabbat, it's mukseh on Yom Tov, or the tennis rackets and all these things. Like, I figure I can carry. You're not allowed to carry these things on Yom Tov. And even if you had a heter, it's mebazeh et ha-mu'adot. God did not give Yamin Tovim to Klal Yisrael to waste with sports and all these frivolous things. That's what He gave Sundays for. That's what He gave other days of the week. But not Yamin Tovim. Really what Yom Tov is supposed to be? Go to shul. The minhag is you start shul later. It says the Gemara Yom Tov me'acharim lavo u'mechtimim latzit. You come later and you leave early. Usually the rabbi forgoes his speech on Yom Tov in order to let the kahal get out early. That's part of the simcha. You wake up a little later. If the guy's going to a 9 o'clock minyan, we're not talking about that. That already is, you don't go to a 9:30 minyan. We're talking the guy who goes to Nets, he prays 5:30 every morning. Okay, Yom Tov, he goes 7 o'clock minyan. But the guy who's going 9 o'clock minyan is a posheya. This guy's, no, we don't get made there to go 9:30. And he should get out early also. There's a mitzvah. You go home, you eat a little, you rest a little, then what? Run back to the Beit Midrash. The whole spirit of the holiday was given half for yourself and half for Borei Olam. You can't turn the whole thing into yourself for your personal enjoyment only. You have to give some to Hashem. And trust me, the Torah is really for yourself. You enjoy it. You should go to class. There's classes. We have a schedule of Bezat Hashem what we're going to be doing over here. You should come to the Shiurim. To hear the with your suit. You shouldn't take off your Biknei Yom Tov. It's Chinuch for yourself, for your children. That's the subject of the schedule of the day. One more halakha will say. There's many laws of Yom Tov. Le'anyan eating bizzard on Yom Tov, or eating fistor on Yom Tov, pistachio nuts, or for that matter on Shabbat. What's the problem? You can't eat bizzard on Shabbat. This is already minhag. You eat it. You're allowed to eat. Let's make it clear. You're allowed to eat bizzard on Yom Tov. You're allowed to eat it on Shabbat. You get a mitzvah if you eat it. However, there are laws of no. You can't carry it. All those guys, you think the traditional guys on Shabbat they're walking with the bizzard in their pockets in the street. Shabbat Shalom, eating it. Every step they're walking, they hayav sekilah. They're carrying something in the Reshut Rabin. So that's another story. Now, the problem you have is like this. After you eat the bizzard, the shell is mukseh. The shell has no purpose. Even the animal doesn't eat the shell of a fistor. You can't eat it. You break your teeth. Even the dog won't eat it. So now, of course, it's still in your hand. What are you going to do? You're allowed to eat it. So you have to put it down. So now you put it down on the table. You have a whole mountain of bizzard, har fistor. So now you have over here a whole mountain of shells. How do you clean the table? Bukseh. Then you wait. Then you wait. There's no right there. So what are you going to tell me? So in your way. So what did you say? The cadaver. So if the maid comes and does it, if the guy has shefa'ot, you ring the bell, let the butler come and let him clean it. We're talking about the bourgeoisie. The guys who don't have the bell. So Charles, he says what? Sit next to the table with a little garbage next to you. You eat it, turn it. You're right. If you did that, that's it. But who does that? You mean garbage to the table? Each guy's going to bring a little thing. Hello, what? So you tell me a plate. Put it in the plate. Oh, there you go. So Bobby's got the answer. You take a plate, you say, right? So now I have a plate. Is the plate mukseh? Of course not. Plate's mutat. Now I take all the shells, I put it in the plate. Now what happens to the plate? The plate becomes mukseh. Now what do? Now you're stuck. You can't move the plate now. So you made an item that wasn't mukseh, you turned it mukseh. So it's a big question. All these fistor, bizzard eaters don't know there's a way to eat it. Plastic. What you do? No, same thing. What's the difference? Plastic, silver, gold. The deen is like this. You take the plate. Bobby say, take the plate. You put something mutar in the plate first. You take a little piece of bread. You take an orange, a little piece of something of food, and you stick it in the plate. Now the plate is carrying something that's mutar. Now when you put your shells in it, the plate is carrying something that's mutar and asur. That does not render the plate mukseh. You can pick up the plate and throw it in the garbage then. However, no. But if you didn't put the item in the plate, you can't move it. It becomes mukseh. So all we're telling you is halakha is very simple. Take your cup or whatever you have that you're putting the shells in, stick something of food in there, a little something of mutar, and then put the shells in there, and you won't have a problem with the shipping and the handling. But if you don't do that, you have a problem. Even on Shabbat, of course. Shabbat also. Is that clear? You can do that straight. The garbage they make because the garbage is a smelly item. If you can have it in the middle of the thing, it's forget it. The layah and the mi'us of it. So let you put it away. However, this item over here, the shell, what is it? The me'ud, they put it on the table. What about what? Well, again, number one, I might have opened up a Pandora's box over here because, the laws of mukseh. To some guys, what's mukseh? There's things you can't move on Yom Tov. Stop from that. I know I jumped into one of the cases of mukseh without giving you the normal introduction that we give. But there are laws of mukseh, and a lot of things that you think you're allowed to move, you're not allowed to move. And this is one of them. So it's interesting. An orange peel happens to be food. That's an edible. A banana, the criteria is like this. Are you ready? If you ask me, Steve, I'll answer you. And we'll finish with this. We'll say one word in Musar. The criteria is like this. On Shabbat, if the peel is edible for a dog or a behemah, then you can handle it. So you gotta go ask the veterinarian what type of For example, the chicken bones and things like that, the animals, they eat these things. So that's okay. On Yom Tov, however, this is a case where the laws of Yom Tov are more mahmir than Shabbat. On Yom Tov, even if the peel is worthy for the animals, it's still mukseh. So Yom Tov is one of the exceptions where the laws of Yom Tov are more mahmir. In any event, Rabotai, the point of the class is to awaken you to some of the different issues that apply to Yom Tov. Chol HaMoed is another issue. If I may discuss just a few things on Chol HaMoed, the 1997 Orthodox Jew, Chol HaMoed is trips. Great adventure, to the zoo, to the park, to the science museum. Chol HaMoed is Kodesh, and one should really spend it in the right way. If a guy's able to take off, if a guy's in a situation where he's a boss, where he's able to make his own hours, really you should not work on Chol HaMoed. A guy has 2 weeks off also if he's a worker. So when do you take your 2 weeks off? Well, for the Goyim holidays, they give you off anyway. So you take it off for 2 weeks during the year. One January and one in the summer, and finish. Really, if a guy has those days off, he should take it off during the holidays. In order to spend your 2 weeks, 1 week Sukkot, 1 week Pesach. Because really, you should not work on Chol HaMoed. Even though the work we do is not laborious, no one's lifting boxes and things like that. But still, it's better not to work. There's whole laws on writing. Really, one should not write on Chol HaMoed. Shaving, for sure, one is not allowed to shave on Chol HaMoed. Even if you look at the rabbis, they shave all year round, but when it comes to Chol HaMoed, there's no heter. I work, so we said this many times. For some reason, the Orthodox Jew is paranoid about a little stubble. You're scared you're going to walk into a meeting and you're not going to look presentable. Meanwhile, the guy you're meeting with has an earring and he has hair down to the floor and the guy's wearing a plaid shirt with not matching tie and boots, hair care with big heels, and you're worried. He's not worried. They don't care how he looks. The guy looks in like a nut, and you're already scared. Oh, the stubble is going to make the sale or not make the sale. Adrabah. The guy follows the halakha, he has more luck. The guy who follows the halakha will make the sale. Therefore, Rabotai. We're not talking about the omer. If you're looking for a heter on the omer, that's easier to find. We're talking now Chol HaMoed. That means your last shave is Friday. Make it a good one. It goes without saying. It goes without saying. Monday. What did I say? Monday? Friday. That's for the Mahmidim. Monday is the last shave. Of course, everyone knows the halakha. I'm embarrassed to say it, but for maybe the people that are listening who don't come to the class, who don't know that it's asur to shave with a razor. Any guy who shaves with a razor is making 5 avonot every single morning with the shaving cream and the whole thing. Already we have today the electric shavers. You're right, it doesn't do the job of a razor, and that's exactly the purpose. The Torah doesn't want you to cut it so much. And therefore, if you know anybody that's shaving with a razor, it's a question if you're allowed to add this guy to a minyan. If the guy shaves with a razor, it's a question if you can make zimun with this guy. So a guy's making 5 sins every morning. There was once in one of the health clubs, they had all the razors and things like that, and the people were using it. The Hachamim found out, they got rid of them. It's a mitzvah to publicize it. It's a big haram to use these things. So you have an eroto, you have a regular shaver, you ask your rabbi if it's kosher or not. Each shaver has a different mahloket on each one. In any event, on Monday, you shave, and you should not shave till after Pesach. Better to keep it on the Omer, until Ladla Omer. The Sefaradim, we keep it till the 34th day of the Omer. But the young boys, especially, the young boys have no heter for the Omer. You're not in business, and you're not in anything. Adrabah, you're looking to do something different. Grow a beard. What's the problem? On the holiday? No. On the holiday, you're not allowed to shave, not lichbot Shabbat, not lichbot anything. You shave before, and I'm only stressing it because really there's no tolerance when it comes to that halakha. I'm telling you, even the Hakamim, look at the old Syrian rabbis that shave every single day. You'll notice there's a couple of days during the year that they have stubble, and that is the days of Chol HaMoed. It's the right way. Like I said, if a person can take off, it's better that he should take off. That he shouldn't go to work the klal on Chol HaMoed. Chol HaMoed is still a day of Kedusha. One should wear nice clothes. You shouldn't wear jeans and these things. You should put on a suit for Chol HaMoed. You should have nice ochel. You should drink wine. Also, have a extra learning and get closer to Hashem. This summarizes a few of the laws of Yom Tov. Now, does anybody have any questions on the aforementioned halachot or any questions on Hilchot Pesach? So the guy shouldn't walk out of here mixed up on anything we said. Is everything we said clear tonight?
Carrying an umbrella.
Carrying an umbrella, it is haram to open an umbrella on Yom Tov. It's haram to open an umbrella on Shabbat also. Okay. The umbrella's open already. Also, it's asur to be mahir. We make an oil on top. We don't use umbrellas, even if it's raining, even if it's snowing. It's haram to use an umbrella on Shabbat or Yom Tov. Pushing a carriage with a child while it's asur on Shabbat is permissible on Yom Tov. So those that are eating by their parents or they're going to the outlaws, they want to carry the child with the stroller. It's 100% mutar to use the stroller.
So what are you allowed to carry on?
The guy has a key, he wants to carry his key to open the doors, mutar. He wants to carry the Mansour, that's also mutar.
Are there any
Your watch, you can wear your watch. There is no Eruv in Brooklyn, New York. I don't know, hotline, cold line. We hold over here. Our rabbis all wrote it. From the chief rabbi, Alav Shalom, Acham Yaakov Katzin. He wrote it and he spoke out clearly. Sephardim hold that the Eruv in Brooklyn is not kosher. All our rabbis signed it. Necham Baruch and Rabbi Moshe Feinstein also put his name on the letter, and all Yaakov Kamenetsky, all the Gedolim said the Eruv is not valid in Brooklyn, New York, or Manhattan. So therefore, all these things, the flag, it's up, it's down, the thing, leave it. We don't carry on Shabbat. Anybody that relies on the Eruv is making avot.
How do we measure the kazayit?
Very good question. Okay. So Raymond's question is, the kizayit of matzah. How do you get an accurate measure? Very simple. Go to the hardware. I did it myself. You go to the hardware store. You buy a food scale. You know, the Weight Watchers, they all have them. You take it, it's a very precise thing. You take your matzah before the holiday. If you didn't do it before the holiday, you can even do it on the holiday, because it's a mitzvah. While normally you're not allowed to weigh things on the holiday. If your wife is making rice, you shouldn't use a measuring cup to see how many cups. You're not allowed to measure on Yom Tov. Be'omen. Our Syrian ladies, they never use the measuring. They always do it be'omen. They know exactly. That's the right way. So you do it on Yom Tov also, you don't use medidah. But medidah for mitzvah, measuring for mitzvah is okay. So you take your food scale before Yom Tov preferably. You take your matzah, you weigh it. If it says 1 ounce, 28 grams, 30 grams, that's what it is. So you have a basic understanding how much you have to eat. You have to have 2 ounces in the beginning, motzi matzah, 1 ounce for the sandwich, and at least 1 ounce for the afikomen. If you want to be mahmir, you can have 2 ounces for the afikomen, tabu ala beracha. But the minimum is having 4 ounces. How
did you measure the piece before?
You measure a regular get the general idea. Half is one. You know exactly where you're going.
Around half is 1 ounce.
No, each one is different. Some are thick, some are thin. You can't say half. You gotta go get your scale, measure it, and so you know exactly. 2, 1, 1. Be 2 what? 2 matzahs when?
2 ounces.
2 what? Maybe it's too much. It's allowed, but why would you want to, some people they want to eat the minimum, or they don't want to eat triple the amount. Question in the back, 1 second. That's right. Rabotai. Good question. Always, whenever we talk about these things, you only have to have a piece of the afikoman your kizayim you take from the box. Again, you always take a little piece from the afikoman, and the box, you get the rest. Rabotai, the afikoman you should not eat after Hatzot. The seder should be over by Hatzot. Hatzot is 12:55 Monday night. So your seder should technically end with the halal and everything by 12:55. Now the afikoman, you said already, you should be careful where the kids hide the afikoman. A lot of times the kids go and they put it in the bathroom and they put it in syrup. Be very careful. Someone should go. Sometimes the kids fall asleep and now you don't know where the afikoman is. So therefore you have to send someone with the kid when they hide the afikoman so you know where it is.
What's the time limit?
Time limit for what? The two kizetin, once you try to eat it, the minimum shi'ur, let's say, 4 minutes. And if he has to rely on it, he has, let's say, 7.5 minutes. You can drink a little to get it down. I'll give you Eitzah. The way I found that the matzah goes down easier is if you heat it up before you eat it, and it's hot, it's easier, it's crispier, it's easier to eat. Each guy has his Eitzah. The Mahminim, they put the matzah in their mouth all at one shot, and they chew and they swallow it in one shot. The guy knows he can do it. And then you can try it. But simply we say you have 4 minutes, and if you have 4, you have 7.5 minutes to eat it. Jacob, I have a question. Afikoman is the big matzah that they hit.
The one that you put it in, you take the whole one, right? But then afterwards when you have to take the whole.
I'm losing you. The one you broke. The little piece you keep in between. Yeah, that you put in between. No, Afikoman. Why would you want to take from that piece? That piece you ate already. That piece you ate during Motzi Matzah. You take from the box. You take a piece of the big and the rest from the box.
The extra Mansour,
The Chetahila wants to try to eat handmade matzot. There are shittot that have a question on the lishma when it comes to machine-made matzot. There are some of them mekirim. The Chetahila, you should try to get hand-baked shemura matzah for the seder. Charlesy.
4 cups. Grape juice is allowed?
Grape juice is permissible. Grape juice is no problem. If a guy can drink the wine, so drink the wine. It's better. If a guy gets sick, look at Taylor try to drink the wine. The story the Gemara says a rabbi used to be sick from the wine. He used to have to wear a bandage on his head from Pesach to Shavuot. But he still pushed himself to drink the wine. One of the rabbis said the Gemara. So even if the yain gives him a little trouble, you should force yourself to drink the arba kosot. If you can't, of course, they make wines now, very light wine. I have a wine now in my car, you go see it's very light, someone gave it to me now. You also have the matuk, light. Very, very easy to drink. Better to drink wine that is not mevushal. Always as a rule, not mevushal wine is better. Because when you cook the wine, you lose a little. However, the problem of not mevushal, you got to be careful from the goyim. So therefore, you keep it sealed, and the goy touches it, it's not a problem. But once you open it, you have to keep it next to you and always protect it.
2 ounces matzah you eat has to be matzah shemura also?
Well, everything you're eating on the night of the seder has to be matzah shemura. Any more questions on Botai? Anything else?
Carrying my Haggadah from one seder to the other for a reason.
Okay. Carrying the Haggadah. Well, they don't have Haggadah, but if
I bought myself, let's say, a Hadid one, and I want to use it.
yeah. Okay, you can bring it. If it's a Hadid one, you can bring it. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen, amen.